Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for next week. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, October 13th to Friday, October 17th, 2025, the moment many of us have been waiting for arrives. Not only have Martin and Smitty reconciled, but this week they also proclaim their renewed commitment to each other in front of their family. In the lounge at the brownstone they share, it's all decked out with candles and ambience. Tyrell and Samantha witness Smitty on bended knee asking Martin if he would marry him again. Martin is all smiles at this, and the stage is set for happy days again here. At the casino in the back room, where all manner of deeds have been done, Joey turns to Vanessa and tells her that this has got to end. Vanessa is incredulous at this news and immediately gets angry and tells Joey to put a lid on the sardonic sarcasm, Joey, as it's really beginning to piss me off. And then Vanessa demands to know where all of this is coming from all of a sudden. This is a surprise for sure. Just what does Joey Armstrong have up his sleeves now? Danny and Bill just cannot get each other out of their minds. This week, Danny goes to Bill's office again, and they talk, and then kiss. The door is open, the blinds are open, and who should come strolling down the corridor? Bill's wife, Haley. Haley must immediately return home, where she becomes enraged and exclaims out loud to someone seated in front of her, "Bill thinks he can play me after all I've laid down. Nah!" Something massive is brewing here. And soap fans, you are not going to believe your eyes and ears. Strap in. At Danny's place, mother and daughter are seated, talking. Naomi and Danny are having a heart-to-heart, and Danny tells Naomi it's decision day in her relationship too. Danny and Andre have a choice to make, or at least Andre does, and Naomi and Jacob are at an impasse regarding the pregnancy and what it means for them and their family. Speaking of decision day, Danny arrives at Uptown after receiving Andres' text message, her face curious. Danny asks Andre what he decided. Here we go, soap fans! Another top-notch week, full of all the soapy drama you could want, need, and poke a stick at. Hey babes, welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama. Welcome to the Beyond the Gates Daily YAPP. For a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Decisions, decisions, decisions. Two couples have some big decisions to make. Well, maybe even three. Naomi and Jacob really are under the pump. If Naomi is really pregnant, they need to decide what they are going to do reasonably quickly. Choosing not to have the baby seems to be a stretch given the current political climate. Hence, putting the baby up for adoption or being a surrogate for someone seems like the only choice they have there. I'd hate to see them go down the miscarriage route again on this show. Danny and Andre, wow! She gave him an out. Spoilers for next week show them saying it's decision day for Danny and her relationship, and Naomi and Danny just look at each other, wondering what is going to happen. Andre genuinely cares for Danny and sees past all the drama and baggage. But next week, we know that Danny and Bill are going to kiss again, and Haley sees it. Now I have a feeling she won't confront them in the moment. No, I think she is going to plot and scheme, and part of that will involve telling Andre what she saw. The other part simply must involve Sammy/Randy. Siblings or besties, I'm not fully decided yet, but I cannot wait to find out. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not. Seriously, do not. Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. BTG spoiler alert. Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of Monday, October 13th to Friday, October 17th, 2025. Be sure to tune in to CBS every weekday to see how everything plays out in Fairmont Crest. Danny suspects Naomi may be carrying a life-changing secret Nicole and Vanessa are at odds, while Leslie issues a warning to June. An intriguing offer is dangled in front of Danelle. Shanice receives two surprising pieces of information. Anita and Vernon get creative to escape the current chaos in their lives. Vanessa demands something of Joey. Bill gets an unexpected gift from a surprise visitor. Smitty makes an announcement to Tyrell and Samantha about the future of their family. Andre has hard-hitting questions for Danny about her ex. Leslie uses the past to make a play for her future. And Ted gets caught in the crosshairs. Kat and her mother both have major relationship updates to share. Randy is tasked with a deadly order aimed at a startling target. Chelsea thinks her mother has been robbed. Haley's birthday treat for Bill ends up in the wrong hands. Naomi and Jacob are at an impasse over what they see for their future, while Martin receives a stunning proposition. One family attends a joyous event, while Nicole and Ted mourn the state of their marriage. Here's what went down Friday, October 10th, 2025, on Beyond the Gates. When Haley had some marital hits, Leslie filed suit with Tomas, and Pamela posted no bills. On Beyond the Gates, Eva met with Jan and Mona at Orphe Jeans, thanking Leslie's former friends for the audience. The ladies reminded Eva that she had gone along with Leslie's plan to derail Ted's marriage after Nicole had been so good to her. So Eva explained that since then, she had been trying to live her life a different way. Eva relayed how Leslie had become even more unrestrained following her inheritance and implored Mona and Jan to talk to Leslie about mellowing out, as Leslie saw Eva as a kid with no judgment skills. Neither Mona nor Jan thought that Leslie would listen to them. Eva complained that Leslie had too much time on her hands and that she had no actual friends who would set her straight. While Eva acknowledged that Leslie had used both Jan and Mona, she also was of the opinion that they had never gotten a chance to talk Leslie out of her scheme against the Richardsons, as they'd been unaware of it. Leslie desperately wanted to belong, Eva said, and she reasoned that Leslie wouldn't be doing such outrageous things if she had actual friends. Mona felt that Eva should reconsider standing by her mother and scoffed that Leslie was only showing off when Eva brought up Leslie buying her the apartment, which Eva viewed as her mother trying to make things right. Ms. Wilson chastised Leslie for buying the house across from the Duprees as a way of punishing them and what they represented. To Mona, Leslie resented the Duprees, but also wanted to be one. Eva couldn't agree more. Having watched her boss and friend Nicole suffer because of Leslie's attacks, Mona refused to have anything to do with Leslie, and was surprised when Jan wanted to stick around and continue discussing the matter with Eva. Once Mona left, Jan asked about Eva's life. Eva described her job with Ted and how Leslie had moved Peaches into Eva's building so Eva could look in on her ailing grandmother. Eva had hoped that Leslie's windfall would mean the two of them could relax and enjoy life, but instead, Leslie was making even bigger moves for the spotlight. Jan didn't want to be friends with Leslie again, per se, but she consented to having a talk with Leslie on Eva's behalf. Under the guise of conferencing with Bill, Leslie got into Bill's office, but was really there to see Tomas. When Leslie revealed that she knew Tomas had slept with Eva, he said that wasn't proud of how things had happened, and that he had apologized to Eva for not returning her feelings. Leslie saw a parallel between Tomas's situation with Eva and hers with Ted, but Tomas adamantly stated that he wasn't married, and he had legitimately thought that his relationship with Kat was over when he went to bed with Eva. Leslie cast Tomas as a man who was drawn to one woman, but instead had made the appropriate choice, as Ted had. When Leslie implied that the ambitious Tomas had chosen the prestigious Kat as a means of leveling up his career, Tomas maintained that he loved Kat. Leslie campaigned for Eva and noted all of her attributes, none of which Tomas disputed. Knowing that Tomas had no family in the area, and therefore no one older and wiser to consult, except Bill, which was worse than nothing, Leslie coaxed Tomas to listen to her. Tomas stood firm, telling Leslie that she wasn't talking to a younger version of Ted, as she seemed to think. Leslie bade Tomas to take her advice. Afterwards, Leslie went to the diner, expecting to find Eva, but Jan said Eva had only texted that she'd be there as a way to get Leslie in the door. Jan had Leslie sit down and said she was driving her daughter crazy, suggesting that Eva had called Leslie a heartless bitch. "That's Miss Bitch," Leslie smirked, knowing Eva would never say such a thing. Jan had a hard time reconciling Leslie destroying the Richardsons' marriage with arranging for Peaches to be cared for, which Leslie was real. Leslie refused to explain herself and reminded Jan that, like her, she had become a mother at a young age and been judged for it. Jan countered that, unlike Leslie, she hadn't struck back at her naysayers. She understood that hurt people and was willing to extend the hand of friendship on the condition that Leslie never use her again. Leslie said she had learned a lot since she'd come into money and became tearful, admitting that she'd love having Jan's companionship back because of how lonely she'd been. Jan declared the slate wiped clean and asked Leslie what it was like to suddenly have so much wealth. "Ooh, chill," Leslie breathed. Jacob came upon Danny and Andre at the country club. As Danny excused herself to meet Pamela, Jacob answered Andre's questions about Derek's condition and spat that Andre seemed to like women who were on the rebound. Andre felt that Jacob wanted an apology from him and affirmed that, yes, he had been interested in Ashley, but she had broken things off. Jacob felt protective of mother-in-law Danny and wondered how her marriage to Andre was going to work when he didn't even know if he wanted kids. And Danny already had 2 grown ones. Pamela told Danny all about Fashion Week in Paris and how she had scored 2 new models for their as-yet unopened agency. Ms. Curtis also wanted to know about Danny's wedding to Andre and Bill's reaction to it. Danny cracked that she would have cheated on Bill years before had she known how interested in her he would become. Mrs. Dupree Richardson confided how Bill had kissed her and how Haley had come storming into her house the previous evening thinking Bill was there fooling around. "Holy crap," was Pamela's response when Danny conveyed that Bill had actually been out confronting Andre. When Pamela wanted to know how Andre had handled Bill kissing her, Danny said she hadn't shared that moment with him, nor had she told Haley about it. Danny was amazed that Bill's marriage was imploding as fast as it was, and was open about Andre taking Bill's seeming jealousy in stride. Pamela was unsure when Danny said Bill kissing her had only been his attempt at being territorial. Danny's ride or die was also concerned that Danny only wanted Andre because she was having fun. Her marriage to Bill had been intense, Danny recalled, and with Andre, things were light and free. Andre was so respectful and considerate that Danny hadn't realized how much she'd needed those qualities in a man. Haley was cold and dismissive when Bill came down for breakfast. Bill wanted to know why Haley was shutting him out. She replied that she knew Bill hadn't been out with a client the night before, as he'd said. When Haley confessed that she had gone to Danny's looking for him, Bill was upset and said that their problems were their business. Bill wouldn't answer Haley's repeated questions about where he'd been, and barked that he wouldn't be giving her the passwords to his phone and email so that she could verify his whereabouts. Bill huffed that Haley could have him followed if she wanted to. Haley countered that she could use the same investigator he had looking into Andre and didn't believe Bill when he loudly claimed he was only vetting his daughter's new stepfather. Bill said that if Haley wanted to continue in their marriage, she had better accept his actions. He then went to work. Andre was joining Danny and Pamela at the country club when Bill walked in. The Richardsons made sure to visit Bill on their way out, after which Bill approached Pamela, demanded to know what she was going to do about Andre's marriage to Danny. Pamela declared that she liked how Danny had gotten her groove back and sniffed that Bill would rather Danny continue to pine over him instead. Bill said a real friend would tell Danny she was making a mistake getting hitched to a useless slacker. Though Bill called Andre a kid living off his inheritance who wouldn't stick around when times got tough, Pamela retorted that she hadn't had much luck getting Danny to dump her first husband, so why should she lobby for Danny to dump her second? Tomas found Haley in Bill's office and let her know he didn't appreciate her positioning him as a tool in her attempt to make Bill jealous. She could have cost Tomas his job. Haley admitted she hadn't made the best move, with Tomas growling that she not minimize the danger she had put his career in. Navarro said to leave him out of her next plot to test Bill. Haley lied that she and Bill were back on track. Back at Danny's, she became pensive and told Andre that he deserved better. He had given her everything she had wanted and accepted her preoccupation with Bill, but she worried what it was costing Andre. The photographer said he treasured Danny and his marriage, especially because he had already lost everything in the past. Danny wanted Andre to look at the big picture and decide if he really wanted a future that included her. She was giving him an out. Andre stood silent. Jacob went home, noting to Naomi that Martin had canceled the meeting he had wanted with him. The detective opined that the congressman had just wanted Jacob's help navigating the situation with June and the teens. Naomi had opted to work from home because she had been feeling nauseous. Plus, she didn't want the resulting questions and assumptions that would spring from her coworkers about her malaise. Jacob knew Naomi didn't particularly want to talk about her pregnancy, but he felt they needed to and expressed that it felt strange that they weren't on the same page like they usually were. Naomi concurred, afraid that Jacob might have only told her what she'd wanted to hear when they'd initially agreed they didn't want to have kids. Jacob assured his wife that he had shared her view, but also that he had been able to see the possibility of children once Naomi had revealed she was pregnant. Naomi felt that Jacob's newfound dream wasn't based in reality and went over the strain involved in raising a child. She was sure that most of it would fall to her, and because Jacob had a dangerous job, the entire responsibility would be hers should something happen to him. Jacob sensed that Naomi was only looking at the negatives. Having a family might end up being 1,000 times better than what she was envisioning. He counseled the counselor to look at the situation as she would a case. She couldn't fairly render a verdict until all the facts had been presented. Naomi came around a bit when Jacob pictured how cute their child would be. She agreed to think about it, but became concerned what would happen if they ended up remaining on opposite sides of the issue. Would Jacob come to regret marrying her? Jacob promised that they would figure things out together and hoped that Naomi would also take best-case scenarios into account. Here's your Beyond the Gates weekly recap for the episodes that aired October 6-10, 2025. On Beyond the Gates, Leslie told Eva to fight for Tomas, but when Eva employed Leslie's tactics, Tomas stood up for Kat and reunited with her. While Kat finally found satisfaction with Tomas in a country club supply closet, Eva berated herself for acting like her mom. When Martin correctly sensed that Smitty was waiting for him to make some sort of grand gesture before taking him back, the congressman decided to go public about disfiguring Kenneth and killing his brother while defending Vernon from their hate. Smitty talked Martin out of it, briefly wondering if Martin was only making a show of wanting to confess to impress him. After apologizing, Smitty proposed that he and Martin go into couples therapy and start dating as a means of bringing healing to their marriage. Yet, once Martin took responsibility for putting roadblocks in Smitty's career path, Smitty invited Martin to move back home. Danny and Chelsea grilled Carlton about his intentions toward Nicole, who didn't want to risk loving again. Anita and Danny separately encouraged Nicole to explore things with Carlton and let him be her right now. The Hawthorns were unsettled by not being on the same page about Naomi's pregnancy. While Naomi could only envision the trouble having a child would bring, Jacob tried to nudge her toward looking at the positives about having a family. Naomi was willing to continue thinking about it. Both Andre and Danny took repeated questions, and flack, about their marriage and their unconventional definition of it. Bill tasked a private investigator, Keegan, with digging into Andre's past. Haley caught Bill in a lie when she found out he wasn't meeting with Caroline as he told her he was. Danny was amused when a furious Haley came to her house looking for Bill, but noted that she had warned Haley that Bill would lose interest in her. An unforthcoming Bill implied that he would divorce Haley if she kept being suspicious of his whereabouts. Pamela refused Bill's demand to break up Danny and Andre. Danny found her casual marriage to Andre freeing, but wondered if she was being fair to him. She offered him an out, aware that she might not be able to give him what he was really looking for. Tomas came down on Haley for using him to make Bill jealous. Haley lied that she and Bill were back on track. Leslie flirted with Joey at Doug's memorial and took a year-old frozen fruitcake to the Duprees as a gift before inflicting the construction of her new house on them. Eva, feeling that Leslie had no one but her to pull her back, went to Leslie's former friends Jan and Mona for help. While Mona refused to have anything more to do with Leslie, Jan agreed to befriend Leslie again. Vanessa felt she couldn't forgive herself for her part in Doug's death, which she could only talk to Joey about. Donnell investigated Doug's crash site and went to Jacob, desperate to discern Doug's state of mind before his death. When Joey learned that Donnell was at the police station, he had Marcel digitally removed from his security footage and offered it to Jacob for Donald to see. The casino owner also sent Drake to lie to Donald that he had tried to arrange a rideshare for Doug. Donald caught Joey comforting Vanessa and didn't know what to think when she hugged the man. Joey told Donnell the story of his mother's death, which seemed to appease the college student. Vanessa admitted to Donnell that she and Joey were friends and that she needed his companionship to help her through the loss of Doug. Beyond the Gates ended last week with Danny offering Andre a way out of their marriage, and it appears he has an answer for her. Of course, there is the other issue that Danny can't seem to stay away from her ex-husband Bill. Also coming up, as teased in the latest promo, Joey has big news for Vanessa. Has he finally grown tired of all the trouble he's brought her lately? And what will the scorned Haley do about her husband and her ex-best friend's stolen kisses? Last week, Smitty had to talk Martin off the ledge, so to speak, as he was about to turn himself in for what happened years ago, thinking it would save his marriage. Smitty told him, in fact, it would only destroy their family. Fortunately, it looks like they've gotten back on track, and with their kids looking on, Smitty gets down on one knee and asks Martin to marry him again. After Donald and Jacob caught them together, Joey continued to smooth-talk Doug's son, while Vanessa insisted Joey was just a really good friend. Well, it looks like they might not even be that. Coming up, Joey tells Vanessa that this thing between them has to end. She tells him to can it, and wonders where all of this is coming from. With Joey, one never knows what he has up his sleeve. Danny's been playing with fire regarding Bill, who has made it his #1 priority to get Andre out of his ex-wife's life. Next week, Haley spots Danny kissing Bill again, and privately loses it. She rants about her husband thinking he can play her, and she's not about to sit around and take it. Finally, Danny had offered Andre an out to their marriage, should he want it, and there would be no regrets. The preview ends with Danny confessing that today is a big day, decision day. Danny meets with Andre after receiving his message and asks what he decided. Will he stay with Danny or take the out? And will Danny stay away from Bill? Beyond the Gates. Spoilers for Monday, October 13th, 2025, suggest that Leslie issues a warning shot to June. The Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, October 13th, 2025, tease a showdown between Leslie and June. She issues a stark warning for our beloved character. Leslie issues a warning to June, who's been causing family drama of her own. Until now, the two characters have had no reason to interact. So what brings them together? June works at Orphe Jeans, and Leslie loves to eat there. However, if Leslie is suddenly issuing a warning, it might have to do with one Dr. Ted Richardson. If fans recall, Ted and June recently shared a moment of flirtation as Ted discussed wedding rings and lamented the end of his relationship. And June was just happy to listen to him. Maybe Leslie complains about June's waitressing skills. Or maybe Leslie witnesses June and Ted flirting. If so, Leslie is someone who won't hesitate to eliminate the competition. Look at what happened after her recent one-night stand with Ted. She gave his tie to Nicole to return to her soon-to-be ex. So Nicole would know what's up. Leslie is a scorched earth kind of woman. June might want to watch out, but she is a tough cookie, so we may not need to worry about her. Danny suspects Naomi may be carrying a life-changing secret. Danny is right. Naomi is pregnant, and she has conflicting feelings about it. Will she open up to Danny? And could Danny give her some good advice? Danny's personal life might be a mess right now, but she's always there for her loved ones, especially her daughters. Meanwhile, Nicole and Vanessa are at odds with each other. This might intrigue fans, who have been confused by their friendship up to this point. Vanessa and Nicole are best friends with great friendship chemistry. However, the BTG fans can't help but notice that they don't have anything in common other than their successful careers and residence. The two ladies go way back, but they're the type of friends who would outgrow each other. Nicole and Vanessa share clearly different values and desires. Nicole places a high value on fidelity in marriage, whereas Vanessa had no problem cheating on her late husband, Doug. We're interested in seeing what will come to a head in their friendship. An intriguing offer is dangled in front of Donald's nose. If he takes it, this will mean he is staying in Fairmont Crest and not returning to college. Could he transfer to a school closer to home? He arrived at Fairmont Crest in a desperate attempt to investigate his father's death. Does this opportunity have something to do with this investigation? Donnell recently met with Jacob Hawthorne to discuss his father's final moments. Passions flare and alliances crumble in Fairmont Crest as old rivalries reignite and new heartbreaks take hold. Character clashes are happening on an almost daily basis in Fairmont Crest. This week on Beyond the Gates, Haley stormed into Danny's house looking for her wayward husband, who can't seem to get Danny out of his mind. Simultaneously, Bill and Andre had their own standoff at Orphe Jeans. Surprisingly, Andre walked away from that verbal showdown the winner. Next week, spoilers reveal that the clashes continue. Vanessa and Nicole are at odds. This should be unexpected, but Nicole's judgment of Vanessa's actions tracks. After all, the psychiatrist hasn't hidden her disdain whenever Joey Armstrong comes up in conversation. Meanwhile, Leslie suddenly issues a warning to June. Does she hear about June and Ted's little flirtation, or does she see the chemistry for herself? In addition, Naomi and Jacob still haven't hashed out their baby dilemma. Unfortunately, when they do discuss it, they find they are not on the same page, so what will they do? And just how do Eva and Tomas realize they have been played? What does Kat do? Monday, October 13th. Episode number 149. Danny suspects Naomi may be carrying a life-changing secret. Nicole and Vanessa are at odds. Leslie issues a warning to June. An intriguing offer is dangled in front of Donnell. Shanice receives two unexpected pieces of information. Tuesday, October 14th. Episode number 150. Anita and Vernon get creative to escape the current chaos in their lives. Vanessa demands something of Joey. Bill gets an unexpected gift from a surprise visitor. Smitty makes an announcement to Tyrell and Samantha about the future of their family. Wednesday, October 15th, episode number 151. Andre has hard-hitting questions for Danny about her ex. Leslie uses the past to make a play for her future. Ted gets caught in the crosshairs. Kat and her mother both have major relationship updates to share. Randy is tasked with a deadly order aimed at a startling target. Thursday, October 16th, episode number 152. Chelsea thinks her mother has been robbed. Haley's birthday treat for Bill ends up in the wrong hands. Naomi and Jacob are at an impasse over what they see for their future. Martin receives a stunning proposition. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, October 13th, reveal some interesting moments in Fairmont Crest. Danny Dupree will be suspicious of something, while Leslie Thomas issues a warning. Plus, Donald McBride is given an offer. Time to find out what Monday's BTG will bring. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, October 13th, hint that Danny will suspect that Naomi Hawthorne is pregnant. While Naomi is far from showing, a mother knows her daughter, and she may say or do something that raises Danny's eyebrow. What will Danny think of becoming a grandmother? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Across town, Leslie will issue a warning to poor June. This is likely about staying away from her teddy bear, although Leslie can be a wild card at times, so maybe it's about something else. Entirely. Meanwhile, besties Nicole Richardson and Vanessa McBride will be at odds. These two are such good friends, so what could they be fighting over? Well, like it's about Joey Armstrong, as Vanessa is head over heels for the casino owner, while Nicole does not approve. Speaking of Joey, Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday tease that Donald will get an intriguing offer. Will the criminal offer Vanessa and Doug McBride's son a job? The last thing Donald wants or needs is to be working for Joey. But there's a good chance he may trick him into something, so only time will tell. Finally, Shanice Johnson will get two interesting pieces of information. Is this about Derek Baldwin and his condition? Shanice is also the hospital gossip, so this could be about someone else. What will Shanice do with the info she gathers? Will she spread it like wildfire or keep it to herself? What storyline are you most looking forward to during Monday's show? Share your thoughts, tune into the CBS Soap Daily, and check out CTS often for the best Beyond the Gates updates, spoilers, and news. Beyond the Gates spoilers reveal that it was revealed over the summer that a hot new male was being added to the cast. Fans were wondering who this person might be. There are a lot of hot soap stars out there, and it was made clear that he would be familiar to soap fans. It has been revealed that Dual alum Greg Vaughn was the guy in this hot new role. Beyond the Gates, producers have not released who Greg will be playing yet, or when he will appear. We know Vaughn will appear this season, and it seems that Greg's character will stir the pot. Could Vaughn's character get Danny Dupree attention, or will he be the one encouraging Nicole to play the field a little while instead of settling down with Carlton? Before Vaughn started acting on soap operas, he was on primetime. Vaughn was in shows from Beverly Hills 90210 to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Vaughn's first role in daytime was his daytime debut in 2002, when he was tapped to replace Another World alum Diego Serrano as Diego Gutierrez on The Young and the Restless. In the year that Vaughn exited The Young and the Restless, he was snagged by General Hospital to replace bold and beautiful vet Jacob Young as a replacement for Jonathan Jackson as Luke and Laura's son, Lucky Spencer. Then, in 2012, Vaughn took over the role of Eric Brady that was formerly played by Jensen Ackles. Once Vaughn was on Days of Our Lives, he was paired up with Ariane Zucker, who played Nicole Walker. Eric and Nicole were a very popular pairing. However, they had a very tumultuous relationship. Eric and Nicole spent a lot of time in Salem, however. Once Ariane left the show, the couple moved to Paris with their little boy. Fans are very excited to see Greg in a new role, since Eric and Nicole cannot be seen together on Duel. Of course, it would be great if he could just bring Ariane with him to Beyond the Gates and make them a couple there. What will Greg's character be like on this new and exciting soap opera? Who will Greg be interacting with? You can be sure that we will keep you updated on Greg's role and anything we learn about it as it gets closer to his debut. Hopefully, Greg will get more airtime and a more stable relationship on BTG than he has experienced on his other soap opera. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.